In this video, we're going to walk through the installation of DashboardFox. I'm logged into my Windows server and I've already downloaded the installation file. So when you start to install, there's two files generally that you'll need to download. One will be the latest installer and the second will be the latest update file. You want to make sure you download both and apply both. I'm going to show you the process of doing the installation file and we'll talk about the upgrade process, which is really simple. Now, I want to right click and say run as administrator versus just double clicking on that executable. Just best practice on the server. We want to make sure that that you run this with all the rights of the administrator of the Windows server. And you'll get a couple of warnings that just come by default when you try to install anything on Windows these days. What you'll want to do is click the more info and say run anyway, but it's a safe executable. It's just a very common message from Windows Defender. Now this will launch the installer, and if it's a brand new Windows server, you'll most likely have to install a couple of prerequisites. The installer will do it for you. Simply click install if you see this message and it'll take care of adding any other required elements that might be missing from a new server. If it's an existing server, it'll probably already have those on there. Now this install is just going to take a couple of clicks, but you'll see that once we get started, there's going to be a period of probably about 3 minutes before it makes a lot of progress. What it's doing, and I'll go ahead and start the process, click next, accept the default location unless you want to change it. You could definitely change that to your D drive or whatever your particular server policies are. I'm going to accept the default in this case. And I'm going to, in this particular case, allow anyone who uses a computer. You could set it up just for the admin. So this doesn't really matter, but I like to pick the anyone option in case you have other non-admins that for some reason might be doing administration on the server. There's really nothing that you run from the server. It's just an IIS application. All of the activity is going to be on the client side. Now this was a step that I was talking about that's going to take a little bit of time. What we're doing here is we're doing a lot of validation to see if IIS is already installed on the server and if it has the required settings. If IIS is not installed, we're going to go ahead and automatically do that for you and set those settings. And that just takes a lot of time and processing to go through all the validation checks. Depending on the CPU speed of your server, this could take a long time. If it's an older server, if it's a more modern server, expect it to take about 90 to maybe 3 minutes. So I'm just going to pause the video right now and let this go through, and then once it comes back, we'll resume. Okay, so that took roughly about 3 minutes, and now you'll see that the rest will go really quickly now that all the IIS setup has completed. We'll give this a couple more seconds to finish up. And then the next step we're going to do is log into the product and activate. So you'll see here, installation wizard complete. And you'll also notice a message that to start using DashboardFox, open HTTP, your server name, /DashboardFox in your desktop browser. So we actually do recommend that you use your desktop browser, but if you were going to do it from the server, if you are using Internet Explorer, for example, we don't recommend it unless you turn off the enhanced security configuration. So you'll see in this case, enhanced security configuration is not enabled, but I'll tell you what's even better on Windows Server is Microsoft Edge. So I'm going to go ahead, instead of going to my desktop, I'm going to do the activation from the actual server. And a couple ways you could do this. I could definitely put in the server name, but if I'm on the server, I can also put in localhost /DashboardFox and go ahead and run that. Now, the first time I run this, there's a lot of stuff going on in IIS to compile and get the package ready. So it's going to take a couple extra seconds, but then you'll see the login show up. And the default username and password that you're going to use is admin, lowercase, and password DashboardFox, lowercase. And one of the first things we recommend you do is update that once you start to use the product. Now, the very first time you log in, you have to activate. And this is where first accepting the terms and conditions. We always recommend you read those as any company would tell you to do. Once you're satisfied, click accept to continue. We'll hit next. And then a couple key things to look for on this particular screen. One, you'll see this green. If I hover over it, it'll say connection success. If it's not green, that means it's not connecting. This means that it has a live connection to our license manager server, so we can proceed by just putting in our email address. If this was red or offline, then you'll want to go through the manual activation, which is fine as well. In this case, we're going to go through and put in our email address. So you'll want to put in your business email address. There's some validation checking here. I'll put in David at DashboardFox.com. And when I hit finish, what this is going to do is reach out to our license manager server and pull down a set of trial licenses so that you can start to set up and leverage DashboardFox in your organization. Might take a couple seconds. You'll see a busy indicator there. What you want to see is that there's going to be a quick green flash at the very top that'll indicate success. And what it's going to do is log us directly into DashboardFox so we can continue. If you do have an error, many cases that's because of a timeout. You'll just reproduce that process. You'll see I just saw the green bar. So this is going to take us in. But if you do get any sort of error, just try that process again. Log back in with admin and DashboardFox and go back through those steps. So the process is complete. Now we have a fully licensed version of DashboardFox. It starts in demo mode. So we're going to have a set of videos that will take you step by step in how to configure this for your environment. And if you do have any questions, just go out to support.dashboardfox.com.